Our next speaker is Dr. Nigel Blumire, who has 10 years of experience in the UK in a hazmat response and training role with the National Chemical Emergency Center. He's currently the secretary of the CTIF Hazmat Commission, and he will be sharing some emerging opportunities and challenges related to hazmat response in his presentation on the future of hazmat. Dr. Nigel, please turn on your camera and microphone and share your presentation.
So I'm hoping you can go and all see that. And I just wanted to welcome all. And thank you for the invitation to come and speak to you all today. It's fantastic to see so many familiar and friendly faces. And in this talk, I will be representing CTIF Hazardous Materials Commission as their secretary and the UK representative at this commission. I'm a PhD chemist with over 2 decades of experience within the chemical industry and hazmats, using all sorts of chemicals, and have been supporting CTIF for several years now. CTIF is the International Association of Fire and Rescue Services and welcomes both professionals and volunteers like you from around the world since 1900. We currently have 39 member countries, but also 50 member organisations that support the fire and rescue services. Our mission is to work to better understand and continuously improve the working conditions for firefighters through ongoing dialogue, analysis, and sharing of lessons from incidents, accidents, and fires throughout the world. We've heard many of them today, with Manny, Chad, and Ed going and talking about these. So I wanted to go and put in what have I learned from all this. When I first became involved in hazmats, I was amazed at how people find new ways to use chemicals across the world. The ease with which people can now purchase these products due to the internet is amazing, and government legislation takes time to catch up with the modern world. We've seen this in the UK with corrosive attacks and the time it took to stop the sale of high concentration acids, such as 96% sulfuric acid. Unfortunately, these were seen as non-lethal weapons by some individuals in the UK, and the emergency services brought in remove campaign and training for local businesses so they were prepared if an attack happened. I really think this is a vitally important part of the emergency services role in community relations, and this has been discussed in previous presentations. So, what is a hazmat incident in my mind? Some of you may be surprised by my definition. We've talked a lot about the larger scale ones, with Manny's examples and also Bob's. And Bob was correct in saying many incidents occur out of hours, and at times it can be hard to get good information within that first 30 minutes of an incident. As you can see from my slide, we've got the large industrial accidents, but there's not many of those that are of that caliber, and hazmat is often far smaller than we prepare for. The regulations from COMA in the UK and Seveso in Europe to the globally harmonised system have meant we have far more information on an incident and the potential hazards. But as Ed spoke about previously, experience and training is vitally important to have a good hazmat response for any size of incident. So my question for you to ponder is, how aware are your frontline crews, be it fire, police or ambulance, to what the hazards of are? We saw with the Novichok incident that one detective was exposed, and with the Beirut blast, first responders were not aware of the contents of the warehouse. They could hear fireworks going off. I know Peter, the next speaker, will be giving more details on this incident, and I'm going to be looking forward to going and hearing from him. We do see this in the UK from time to time, and so far we've been lucky. And I'll just reiterate, Ed's mission is to make sure all emergency responders are prepared no matter the hazmat incident they are dealing with. Now, one final point before I move on to the next slide is that I personally do not see any big difference between a CBRN and a hazmat other than the intent to cause harm. The hazards of the products will be the same, so good collaborations between CBRN and hazmat specialists or experts is important to continue improving our response. So now moving on to some of the emerging hazards, and this is one of the areas we are seeing a large increase in. There's lots of batteries out there, but the rise of lithium ion since it was developed in 1970 has been spectacular. I could speak a lot about this topic. It's one of my pet projects and I can spend days actually talking about it. But really the main focus is the increased need in electric vehicles, energy storage systems to complement our renewable energy sources, and the requirement for personal equipment. The UK government has already banned new petrol and diesel vehicles from 2030, so the push is already happening in many countries. Many of you will probably be wearing or using smart tech right at this moment, but the issue with this technology is the thermal runaway. Although the failure rate for brand new cells is estimated between 1 in 10 million to 1 in 40 million, which is a large number. However, some batteries have been modified intentionally by manufacturers to run without necessary safety features or damaged during use by the public, whether it's malicious or accidental. This can result in thermal runaway since they store large quantities of energy. To highlight this, there is a considerable amount of excellent research available, but pulling it together is not a simple task. CTIF spent 7 years with many other interested parties to formulate ISO 17840, which provides a standard format for emergency response sheets and markings for all vehicles, so emergency responders know exactly what fuel type they are dealing with. In conjunction with Euro NCAP, an app is now free to download with all manufacturers' emergency response sheets and details on their vehicles available. However, there is another competing technology in hydrogen fuel cells, and some countries such as Japan view this as the future rather than battery technology. It does have advantages in it, can be used in similar fashion to petrol or diesel vehicles, so the public does not need to modify its behaviour too much. It does not suffer from thermal runaway, and when vented properly, can be burnt cleanly. However, catastrophic failure could cause a larger impact with the potential for explosion, especially in multi-storey or basement car parks. Energy storage with fuel cells is an exciting possibility, and test sites have been set up in the UK with rail and road projects not too far behind. This technology could be complementary for long distance transport, such as coaches or articulated lorries, since far longer ranges are possible. Apologies for the dog. Those are two types of hazardous materials we are seeing on the rise, but it's not everything. But I wanted to move on to how do we get good situational awareness? And this is really where new technology can really start to help. And Chad's already gone and shown with the drone footage that you can do this. We already have some equipment such as gas chromatography mass spectrometers and infrared spectrometers, which I never thought could be miniaturized and robust enough to give the good results we now get in the field. This equipment is improving all the time, and over the last 10 or so years in the UK, the equipment used by our detection, identification and monitoring teams has really become outdated. I expect this trend to continue and really excited by what the engineers will come out with next. We have seen that drones have brought a new dimension to the military in terms of reconnaissance and mission deployment, but this can be utilised by the emergency services as well. Aerial imagery and 360-degree tactical awareness is going to be vital for dealing with incidents. I saw this with a recent waste fire in the UK, where a member of the public was flying his drone and helped the incident commander get a complete picture of the fire. This really is vital information, and we've seen testing of radiological equipment, gas sensors, and even deployment of firefighting media using drones. I really do see this as the next step, with more remote use of equipment, with the rise of drones and robots to assist the emergency services. Although with the robots, it's quite a way off yet. Chad went and talked about we don't want to go and risk our firefighters, and really going and being able to work more remotely would be fantastic to go and keep that safety level available. So, in conclusion, this has been quite a quick tour of the future of hazmat, but I'm hoping that you've gone and gained some insights into what's coming. My takeaway message is that automation and new technology will give far more information to first responders, but there will be challenges learning more about these new technologies. However, we will be getting better coordination, with automated messages being sent from vehicles involved in a road traffic incident, both to the control room and frontline crews attending. Many of the hazmat incidents we see are small in scale, and to deal with the diversity of incident training and scientific expertise will be vital, since the hazmat field is so vast. I'm still learning every day, and I think that it's going to be one of those things that we're going to have to rely on each other. The other aspect is, well, what if all the automation systems fail? What if we don't understand the information being given to us by the machines? Well, we need that ingenuity of the emergency services to help solve the issues. And I think my final tagline there sums it up. It's going to be better technology, but we do need better training, and we will be getting better support. So I just wanted to go and say thank you very much for your time. And CTIF would be happy to hear from you on your views about hazmat and the future. And if you have any questions or insights for CTIF, please feel free to get in touch, either at the networking event or at my contact details that are up there now. So thank you very much, and back over to Bob.